2 dribbles past half court. No pause. No second thought. Caitlin Clark rises from the logo, the exact range that turned her into a household name, and releases the ball with that smooth, unmistakable spin everyone knows on sight. Splash. Perfect. The building erupts. Teammates leap from the bench. Coaches can't help but applaud. And in that instant, months of uncertainty, speculation, and quiet doubt about whether she could ever return to form vanish completely. But here's the part no one is really addressing. While Clark was knocking down logo threes and earning a starting role on Team USA strictly through performance, Angel Reese was reportedly furious about coming off the bench, a role she seemingly believed was beneath her. That contrast alone explains everything about the difference between leadership that's earned and expectations rooted in entitlement. Let me break down what truly went on at Team USA camp, because the version being circulated leaves out some key truths. Sue Bird made it clear that Caitlin Clark entered camp fully healthy. Not close. Not almost. Fully. And when Sue Bird speaks, people listen, because what followed showed she wasn't selling a comeback narrative. She was alerting everyone that the storm had returned. Clark stepped into that gym coming off the hardest year of her career. 13 games. Say it again. 13 games in an entire WNBA season. Left quad. Left groin. Right groin. Left ankle. The injury list looked like something out of a medical journal for a rookie who shattered 62 records. Sitting helpless on the bench while her body failed her was agony stretched out over months. And while she rehabbed quietly, grinding through physical therapy sessions without cameras or headlines, refining her game when no one was watching, the questions grew louder. Could she recover? Would she still be the same player? Did the league solve her while her body broke down? If you believe context matters, hit that like button now. It lets us know we're telling the story the right way, and you're about to see why this return is bigger than a single shot. The press conference ahead of camp felt different. Clark faced the cameras and said exactly what everyone needed to hear. I finally feel 100% healthy. No qualifiers. No uncertainty. Just the truth. Then she added something that caught everyone's attention. I still need to knock off the rust and rebuild my conditioning. That's honesty. That's knowing where you stand while being clear about where you're headed. And as many of you have pointed out for weeks, that level of self-awareness separates real champions from the rest. When asked about nerves, about that creeping doubt wondering if you still have it, Clark's response was perfect. She said the moment she touched the basketball during warm-ups, before practice even began, everything felt right. Not under the lights. Not during a big moment. The instant the ball hit her hands, instinct took over and it all came back. She talked about working nonstop since the season began. Rehab, recovery, rebuilding, then pushing beyond where she was before. This wasn't just a return. It was a reset. A reload. And you could see it in her eyes. The fire fans fell in love with during her rookie season never disappeared. It was waiting for fuel. Clark was honest about what injuries taught her. She described the experience as isolating. She learned what injured teammates endure. She learned how to support from the sideline. But more importantly, she revealed something that should terrify every opponent. She said she would have accepted 10 bad games in a row just to be back on the floor, competing with her teammates. Read that carefully. 10 bad games just to play. That's not someone who lost hunger during recovery. That's someone who came back starving. And then came the scrimmages, where this story shifts from impressive to unforgettable. When Clark stepped onto the court, the gym went quiet. Coaches tracked every move. Teammates watched every cut. The pressure was overwhelming. Would she look like herself, or would the injuries show in ways conditioning couldn't hide? She opened carefully. Simple passes. Strong positioning. Solid defense. Nothing flashy. Whispers started spreading that maybe this comeback wouldn't be as effortless as people expected. You could feel hesitation settling into the gym. Then came the moment that will live on for years. That logo 3 I mentioned earlier. The shot that sent a clear message to the basketball world that Caitlin Clark wasn't just back, she was ready to take over again. Sue Bird watched from the sideline with a calm, knowing grin. She nodded as if she'd seen it coming, because legends recognize greatness when they see it. And what Bird witnessed was someone who never actually lost her edge. Clark didn't slow down after that. She followed the deep three with pinpoint passes, threading the ball to teammates exactly where they needed it. Her court vision looked even sharper than before. On the defensive end, she read plays early, jumped passing lanes, and disrupted offenses like someone who hadn't missed a day. The rust she had mentioned earlier? Gone. Completely erased. The tempo of practice shifted instantly. Clark's intensity was contagious. Players picked up the pace. Ball movement became quicker. Defensive pressure ramped up. She wasn't just another body on the floor anymore. She had taken control. That burst in transition, that command of the offense, that flawless shooting mechanics, it was all there, maybe even improved. Even during drills when a few shots didn't fall, she muttered to herself and kept pushing. That competitive drive that made her must-watch television as a rookie was burning just as fiercely. She also reconnected with Cameron Brink during camp. Their bond stretches back nearly 9 years to their U16 days, and that chemistry was still evident, still natural. This is where things truly took a turn. Sue Bird and head coach Cheryl Reeve were seen huddled together after practice, smiling as they talked animatedly. Their focus was on one player who exceeded every expectation. Building the future of Team USA around younger talent while maintaining championship standards is no easy task. They needed a centerpiece for their vision heading toward Berlin 2026 and Los Angeles 2028. Veterans like Chelsea Gray were in camp competing hard for starting roles. Established stars expected major minutes. So when the coaching staff decided to elevate Clark immediately into the starting lineup, it stunned much of the basketball world. Some questioned whether she deserved such rapid recognition after missing most of her second season. But those inside the gym knew better. Sue Bird spoke publicly about Clark's leadership throughout camp. She highlighted Clark's dedication and constant engagement with teammates during her injury-filled season. Even while sidelined, Clark traveled with the Fever to nearly every road game, staying vocal and involved on the bench. That's leadership. That's putting the team above personal numbers. Bird noted that Clark understood her teammates' struggles because she had lived through them herself. That empathy made her a stronger leader. Cheryl Reeve emphasized Clark's basketball IQ and how seamlessly she blended with others. She pointed to Clark's chemistry with backcourt partners like Jackie Young during scrimmages. Her ability to lift the level of everyone around her stood out. She was effective on both ends of the floor and showed no signs of slowing down. Behind the scenes, sources revealed that Clark's work ethic during recovery impressed the staff long before camp began. She stayed connected. She checked on injured teammates. She sent messages of encouragement when others faced setbacks. Her character showed most clearly during the toughest stretch of her career. The coaching staff noticed how her presence elevated the group. Her vision created chances. Her defensive pressure increased intensity. Teammates responded to her energy in ways that can't be manufactured. The impact was undeniable. Clark spoke openly about her excitement to represent her country again. "Playing for your country is the highest honor there is," she said. That respect showed in every drill and every scrimmage. She understood what wearing the USA jersey truly meant. Then came the announcement that confirmed it all. Clark would start at point guard for Team USA. The lineup: Caitlin Clark at the 1, Jackie Young at the 2, Brianna Stewart at the 3, Nafisa Collier at the 4, and Aya Wilson at the 5. Off the bench: Sabrina Ionescu, Paige Buchers, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, and Satu Sabauli. That decision erased any remaining doubt about Clark's return and firmly established her as the future face of the program. This wasn't about plugging a gap in the roster. USA Basketball was clearly placing its championship vision in Clark's hands for the next Olympic cycle. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think this signals for the future of Team USA? Share your thoughts in the comments, because when you connect the dots in this story, you start to see angles the mainstream coverage avoids. Your voice matters here, so let's unpack this together. Sue Bird and the coaching staff didn't hedge their words. Their public support sent a loud and unmistakable message across the basketball world. Caitlin Clark wasn't simply returning from injury. She was stepping into a leadership role with gold medals in mind. While Clark handled her promotion with composure and humility, Angel Reese's reaction told a very different story. Making the roster is an accomplishment on its own, but Reese landed in a bench role, and that reality reportedly didn't align with her expectations. Reports began circulating that Reese was unhappy with her minutes and unclear role. Sources close to the team suggested she voiced strong dissatisfaction with coming off the bench. That tension created an awkward situation for a coaching staff focused on unity, because the last thing any international program needs is internal friction heading into major competition. As camp progressed, Reese's frustration reportedly became more noticeable. She appeared bothered by how much attention Clark's comeback was receiving. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. While Clark leaned into leadership and chemistry, Reese seemed preoccupied with individual concerns tied to her status. The difference between the two approaches became impossible to ignore. Clark consistently projected a team-first mindset. She spoke openly about sacrifice, flexibility, and prioritizing collective success over personal preferences. Reese's energy, by comparison, appeared centered on grievances rather than growth. Teammates picked up on it quickly. Clark spent practice elevating everyone around her, setting the tempo, and raising standards. Reese seemed focused inward, measuring her place instead of maximizing her impact. That divide became increasingly clear. Social media signals and behind-the-scenes accounts painted a picture of someone who believed a starting role should come automatically, rather than being earned through camp performance. Many of you have pointed this out for weeks. Reese appeared to expect special consideration based on reputation instead of results. Meanwhile, patience within the coaching staff reportedly wore thin as concerns persisted. Here's the uncomfortable truth many avoid saying. Angel Reese should recognize that making this roster was already an opportunity. Her strengths, rebounding, physical defense, energy, can absolutely help a team at this level, but that comes within a defined role. She isn't the primary offensive option on an elite international squad. Rebound, defend, bring intensity. That's the job. The issue seems to stem from inflated expectations shaped by situations where her club team required more than her skill set truly supports at the highest level. That disconnect showed in her response to the role she was given. Representing Team USA demands maturity, adaptability, and selflessness, qualities that didn't come through in her reaction. The situation highlighted exactly why Clark earned her position through both performance and character. One player embraced responsibility through action. Another struggled to accept a role aligned with actual camp contributions. The contrast between earned respect and assumed entitlement was clear to everyone involved. And let's address another reality while we're here. Clark should have been on the 2024 Olympic roster. Not simply because she belonged, but because she outperformed some players who were selected. Beyond that, her presence would have elevated global attention for women's basketball. Instead, roster decisions leaned heavily on legacy selections and name recognition over current form. In hindsight, that omission may have fueled the best version of Clark we're seeing now. She's healthy, driven, and positioned to lead both her franchise and her country into a new era. Clark's return to Team USA isn't just a comeback, it's the foundation of a potential dynasty stretching through 2028. Her conduct during camp showed she's ready to carry that responsibility. Look at the evidence. The logo 3 that silenced doubts. The starting point guard role earned through performance. The way she lifted every teammate around her. Fever fans can finally breathe again knowing their superstar is fully healthy and locked in. Her body feels right. Her mindset is focused. Gold medals are the goal. 2026 can't arrive soon enough. And when that tournament tips off, people will trace it back to this moment. The moment Caitlin Clark announced her return not with words, but with a logo 3 and undeniable leadership. Read between the lines and the message becomes clear. The staff didn't choose Clark solely for her talent. They chose her because she demonstrated championship behavior when no one was watching. When injured, she stayed present. When frustrated, she supported teammates. When rushed returns were tempting, she chose patience. That's the difference between chasing attention and earning respect. Reese's reaction to her bench role revealed priorities that didn't align with the program's values. Instead of embracing learning opportunities and contributing where needed, sources suggest she focused on what she believed she deserved. You weren't imagining it when you noticed the pattern. It's been consistent. Some players understand national team duty is about service. Others see it as another stage for personal branding. The coaching staff made the correct choice. They backed the player who embodied team-first leadership over the one who resisted accountability. They chose earned authority over entitlement. So here's the real question, and I genuinely want your take. Should Angel Reese be part of Team USA with that mindset? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is just beginning. And if you believe Caitlin Clark is about to dominate the next Olympic cycle and lead Team USA to multiple gold medals, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. We'll be tracking every chapter of this journey. Trust me, this story isn't finished. The 2026 World Cup is approaching. The 2028 Los Angeles Olympics are coming fast. And Caitlin Clark has made it clear she's ready to define the next era of USA basketball. Stay tuned, what's ahead could be historic.